We're going to talk to Crockett about the Niners. Now, I don't know if there's something happening in the locker room. We thought that the last couple of years when they got off the slow starts. I think the locker room's fine. Honestly, believe the locker room's
Okay, so
fine.
forget the locker room or the chemistry or the egos, but in terms of spreading the ball around is and not effort level. That's not what I'm saying. But like, do the Niners spread the ball around appropriately?
To playmakers? Well, look, they force-fed George Kittle, which I agree with. They force-fed Brandon Ayuk last week, which I agree with. I want my playmakers to get the most opportunities and get the ball in their hands. If Debo's out there with Christian McCaffrey, all four of those guys, I got no problem with all four of those guys gobbling up all the touches. Now, should you sprinkle in some Juwan Jennings or some Ronnie Bell at times? Sure, absolutely. I wish they had a second tight end they could throw to. It feels like they've been searching for a second tight end throughout the Shanahan tenure, whether it's Ross Dwelly, Croft, Braden Willis can't even get active, so he's not playing. And I like the young man out of Oklahoma. So, they did spread the ball around. I've got no problem with McCaffrey, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle gobbling off the targets. To me, that's fine. That's fine. And by the way, Debo's told Kay Adams yesterday on their podcast that Debo's ready to go. He's going to play against Jacksonville. He'll be ready to go. We'll get the sound in a second. So I don't have a problem with that. You want them to spread it around? Who are you going to spread it to?
I don't know. No, not that I want them to spread it around. I do think there is a conversation about overall touches for Christian McCaffrey. 400 is the number, right? DeMarco Murray, going back in the day. Like, you get over 400. Like, over 400 carries, there is a correlation to the depreciation of a player in terms of their physical peak when they get more than 400 touches. There are outliers. Adrian Peterson, physical freak outlier. Derrick Henry, physical freak outlier. Could McCaffrey be one of those outliers? Fine. I'll listen to it because he's a specimen, right? But I not that I'm worried or like the sky is falling, but I do think it's something to monitor. The most touches he's ever had is a shade over 400 in 2019. And the very next year, he was banged up. The very next year, he was banged up. Right now, 137 rushes, and that's missing almost an entire game because he came out early. And then he's got the 32 catches. So he's on pace for 350 or so to 400. Is that too many? I don't know. He gives you your best chance to win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't want them off the field. Right. I
feel like they're in a tough spot.
Who are you going to spread the ball to? Now, was it unfortunate that Juwan Jennings went out there and exercised last Sunday, ran 33 routes with no target? That's a little unfair. It's a little unfair.
I would counter to anyone saying that Jennings needs to be targeted with. I don't love Ray and Jennings as my 2 and 3, given the Debo out.
Honestly, I was impressed with Jennings against Minnesota.
No, he was fine against
He had a little wiggle, which I didn't know because they never throw him the ball. So I didn't know. I was like, wow, okay, Juwan Jennings not bad. But then you're throwing key critical passes to him and you get it picked off. So whether they spread the ball around or not, they just need to sustain drives and get back to running the football. Run the football.
Yeah.
Whether that's with Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell, or Christian McCaffrey.
Something's going on with Jordan Mason. Like, how does this guy I don't know. Like, how do you run for what he's run for this year? And maybe it's like, Joe, the context. They were up big and teams were giving up, and he had a couple of big runs that have diluted the numbers. Whenever I watch Jordan Mason, I'm like, he runs hard and he runs forward. I don't know why you can't find touches for a guy like that when short yardage and red zone situations feel so tough this year.
I don't know. I'm very interested to hear from Crockett about this defense, about what's going on with the 49ers. Now, again, Frank and Monterey said there's something going on in the locker room. Is there tension? Probably with some of the play calls. There's probably tension because they lost 3 in a row. But think about their starts the last couple years. At this point, we were just happy they were 4-4 at the bye week last year.
What was the year prior? 3-5?
3-5, 2-4. They lost 4 in a row. And they had that life or death Chicago game where Jimmy Garoppolo was basically playing for his job.
Life or death.
Remember that at Soldier Field?
I do.
And everybody was hyper-focused. Look at Jimmy. They're not even celebrating with Jimmy after the touchdown.
The Debo play before halftime?
Right. No, or the third quarter.
Oh, was it third quarter? Yeah.
The wide receiver screen.
Yeah.
So I think they've had more tension in the past. I think this locker room's in a good spot right now.
Was that the game they used Debo as a decoy to throw the underneath pass to Jennings?
Yes.
For a touchdown?
No, that was the Philadelphia game.
That was the Philadelphia.
A couple years ago.
Okay.
Week 2.
Yes.
Right before halftime.
Yeah.
And Debo said he lined up in the wrong spot.
Yes. Those games all blended in for me.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
I had a conversation with somebody the other day Ray Williamson. His two sons are playing on our softball team, ballers, Justin and Andrew. And he goes, me and my buddy, we stopped being friends because of Jimmy Garoppolo. I go, you stopped being friends over Jimmy Garoppolo? He goes, we would argue about Jimmy Garoppolo. So now he's just firing texts at him of like Jimmy pointing in one direction, throwing an interception in the other.
I actually feel bad for Jimmy, but you know what? I don't feel bad for Jimmy because he started popping off this year saying, yeah, there's a lot of weird things happening in San Francisco. Yeah, you don't know weird yet until you sign up with the Oakland Raiders or the Las Vegas Raiders.
You're leading the league in interceptions. You haven't played 2 weeks.
Right, I know. So I'm done with Jimmy.
Spadoni's got to get in here on Jimmy. As a non-Niner fan watching from a front row seat, now that you finally have Jimmy, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I've been like covering the Niners now for years now, so I know the entire Jimmy Garoppolo experience. So I wasn't surprised by any of this. It's just wild to think like after his starting career is over.
Yeah,
he's not going to be a starter anymore in this league.
Ever?
I don't know if he's going to be in this league anymore.
Forever?
He might be a backup in places, but he's not a starter
I don't even know
anymore.
if he's going to be in this league.
Why?
I think he might be playing because he has that I don't care type of attitude again. And reports are coming out again, and Martellus Bennett is one person, and so nobody wants to. They don't want to listen to Martellus Bennett because he's crazy. They quote unquote crazy. Oh, the Bennett brothers just be talking. Well, then Edelman start talking. And then now there's other reports. This guy can't play hurt. And I swear to God, the first thing I said to Shasky in Philadelphia, you see Jimmy walk out the tunnel?
Okay.
There's no limp.
Here's the funny thing. I was actually showing video of the Niner team running out of the tunnel for Philadelphia. Who comes walking with no limp at the end of the video?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
And you can hear Bonta elbowing me. I swear to God, I should send them the video.
Right.
Jimmy looks good.
No way.
He's got no limp. That's
no way.
Elbowing me as the camera is shaking, and you're talking about Jimmy in his Jordans. Look at them fresh J's.
Wow.
He did have fresh J's.
He did have fresh J's on. And then somebody screenshotted a picture yesterday of Jimmy Garoppolo smiling from ear to ear while the Niners are getting their butts kicked in Philadelphia. I'm sorry. I never played at a high level. I played in high school. I played Pop Warner. We're losing. Nobody was smiling. Nobody was smiling. I don't know anybody who is part of a losing situation and you're smiling about something. If so, that person would get checked. Well, Jimmy was smiling from ear to ear. And I know, now that the reports are coming out, I was like, that guy could have suited up and played for us, and he didn't. He was worried about himself and not his teammates.
If Jimmy's, I feel it's premature to say his career is over. I
don't know. I don't know a team that's.
But if he does, are we going to have a Jimmy Summit here at 95.7 The Game? I mean, for all the content that man provided us for so many years.
He carried our station for a long time.
957 The Game?
Yeah. Shout out to Will Kiss of the Raiders. He used to go to the Coliseum, Will Kiss.
Hey, keep
He's doing well. He looked at me, he goes, oh, Bonta, what's up? What's happening at 957 The Game?
Keep it real, though. You look at Shanny a little different after seeing how bad Jimmy struggled. Come on.
I do, but it also makes me very critical of Brock Purdy.
Why?
Because Jimmy Garoppolo's numbers is very similar to Brock Purdy's at this point of their careers.
I think Brock's way better in terms of processing information pre-snap.
Okay, that's fine.
And footwork.
But the numbers look the same.
I think he's a little more accurate, too.
The numbers look the same.
I don't care about the numbers. I'm going eyeball. I'm going eyeball.
And honestly, 2019... Jimmy Garoppolo did carry the offense at times. At various points in that season.
He was good. No,
he was good. I don't
pretend like he was never
I'm not
good.
trying to take that away from him.
But Brock, I think
post Super Bowl, Jimmy was not good. But 2019, Jimmy had a very good year.
He did. But Bonta, my eyeball, my naked eye tells me Brock gets to more progressions. He has a better feel for zone. He has better layered throws intermediately. Maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment. I think Brock's a much better player than Jimmy Garoppolo. They might be more closely together. Brock might be closer to Jimmy than he is Mahomes, but that's because Mahomes is nuclear.
Z Niner, the Jimmy Derangement Syndrome. He's calling it JDS, Jimmy Derangement Syndrome.
Jimmy, is it Jimmy G or Jimmy INT?
Oh, my gosh. By the way, this quote from Deshaun Watson today is not going to age well.
Deshaun Watson talked.
Deshaun Watson says not being out there on the field for his guys is weighing on him. Quote, this is the most guilt I've ever felt.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely incredible.
Real quick, Ross and Benicia.
You just can't solve
Ross and Benicia, what's happening?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, man, that Deshaun Watson quote is crazy, right?
Wild.
But another thing, man, is why you guys still harping on Jimmy, man? The 49ers are losing right now without him. So you guys are losing so much, it got y'all shook, man.
Listen, Ross. It's Jimmy PTSD.
Yeah.
If not treated, it will linger.
It will.
And it's lingering right now.
Hey, you know what? I'm a Raider fan, so I know.
Hey, if it lasts more than 4 seasons, see a doctor.
Hey, man, we're so bad right now. I don't even look at it, man. I come home from work, man, and I just go straight to hoop, man.
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, man. So anyway, I'm just calling. You guys are gonna be all right, man. Just think, you don't have to watch the Raiders. So just cheer up, man. Buck up, guys.
Hey,
be all right.
Do you follow Baldy? There was a video Baldy put out on. It was like 4th down, 4th and 1, and it was like a simple. Josh Jacobs is from here to Bonta. I mean,
4th and 2. 4th and 2.
He could have handed him the football, and he's looking right at him. And by the way, the design of the play was horrific. There was 3 double moves on a 4th and 2. Why are you shaking your head, Spadoni?
The entire game was just frustrating. I'm so happy that Josh McDaniels, it can't be worse than this. Whatever offense is going forward just can't be as worse as what Josh McDaniels is doing with Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, 2 of the best players at their positions, and you can't score 20 points in a game. It's unbelievable. It really is.